homies, welcome back to Something New Saturday. The Saturday where I show you something new. Today we've got two new things. I got this really cute stencil from Spellbinders. It's called Hummingbird Textures. It's got 3 different textures on it. We're going to use the center one today. And then I have a stamp set from Rubbernecker. Now I showed you this a few weeks ago because I got it at the expo, but we're going to actually make a card with it today. Let's get going. So first thing I'm going to do is stamp this birthday cake onto a panel. And I'm going to position it up towards the top a little bit because I want to stamp the sentiment below it. I'm also going to trim this down with a waffle flower die. Yeah, that should be about right. So I'm going to use Jet Black Archival. Alrighty, there we have a lovely birthday cake. Before I stencil, I'm going to go ahead and do the filler. So this stamp set comes with filler stamps for all the parts, or you could color it however you wanted to. But I'm going to use the filler today. And I'm going to work with Simon Hurley inks. So I've got Overzealous, Guppy, Clear Skies, and Bee Sting. So you just go layer by layer. And these are actually meant to fill it in kind of a messy way. So there's going to be some splatters outside of your cake outline. If you don't like that, then I would color it with markers or however you like to color. So I'm going to do the top layer with Clear Skies. I'm going to do a couple of layers of ink so this is really good and saturated. And the second layer is going to be Overzealous. And you just lay them on there and they layer right up. And like I said, they are meant to be a little wonky. And if your sensibilities don't like that, then color it however you'd like. This looks really good watercolored. That's what we did in the class. We watercolored it with ink pads, but it was a nice look. And then my bottom layer is going to be Guppy. That's the largest layer. So I'll get that on there. Get a little Guppy. And then for the candles, you've got two layers for the flame. You got this larger one, which I'm going to stamp with Guppy. See all the sparks coming off around it? I think that's so cute the way this was designed. I really like this stamp set a lot. And then for the kind of center of your flame, that's, you know, the darker, we're going to use Bee Sting. That's why I got Bee Sting out. Oop. Oh, there we go. I think that should do it. Real quick, real simple. I stamped and cut out a mask for this birthday cake. And I did not mask those little flames because if you think about it, sometimes you can see through fire. So I'm just going to leave that open. Now I've got this lovely stencil. I'm going to mask off the sides so I don't get any of that other pattern on there, because that's not what I want right now. And I'm just going to lay this over the panel. As I stencil this, I'm going to do some kind of almost like rose, right? Or I guess an ombre. So it'll be clear skies, and then overzealous, and then guppy. And to do that, I'm going to use some small blender brushes. These are the ones from Pink Fresh Studio, but you know almost everybody's got them now. And we're just going to stencil all the way across this panel. So my cake layers are in the same order as my background, color-wise. Now these are Simon Hurley inks, and they blend really nicely. You could use Distress inks for this, oxides. I know there's a lot of inks out there that blend well, so use whatever strikes your fancy. We're going to move on to overzealous. And finally, guppy. I love me some guppy. And then we're just going to lift it up and move over. Continue on in the same order. Clear skies, then overzealous, and then guppy. And then look at that lovely stenciled background. Now let's peel our mask off. Oh, voila. Isn't that pretty? Now while I've got the stencil out, I'm going to go ahead and do inside the card. You know what I always say, no naked insides. Just go over, just there's a little bit of color inside. I think I'll do another row here. There's a lot of ink on, oops, wrong color. A lot of ink on here, so might as well. And there we go. I went all the way across, so the inside is not naked. I'm going to cut this panel down with a waffle flower die. I'm trying to decide how small I want to go. Where's my sentiment? So we're going to use this one. This is number 4, in from the outside. I'm going to pop this back into the MISTI so that I can stamp the sentiment. I suppose I could have done that before I ran it through the switch, but didn't think about it. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. Looks good right about there. And again, just stamp with Jet Black Archival. And we'll just layer this on the card front, and I'm going to use some fun foam behind it because it's going to be a pretty flat card, so figured I should probably give it a little dimension because you know how we like dimension. And then for a little bit of bling, we're going to use some melted ice confetti from Trinity and a little bit of orange slice stickles on our flames. So let's dump some confetti out here. And let's just dot it around this cake here. And this has all different sizes in it. That's one thing I really like about Trinity. All their stuff is multiple sizes in one package. Makes life easier. All right, look at that. Now I'm going to add some stickles to the flames. Let me make sure they're flowing, and they are. So what I'm doing is concentrating it where the bee sting ink is, and then just pulling it up a little bit into the flame. That one needs a little more. All right. I will see you when this is dry. Here's my finished card project for Something New Saturday. Our Something New was this Rubbernecker birthday cake stamp set, which I just love. I love this. When I took this class, the reason was because of this stamp set. You got 3 stamp sets in your class fee, and I wanted this one. So this is a layering stamp set. You've got a layer for an inside layer for each cake piece, and then 2 for the flames. You don't have to use these if you don't really care for the messy look. I like the messy look. You could watercolor them, Copic them, colored pencil them, regular marker them, however you want to color them. In this case, I used the layers. So the other new thing we used was the Spellbinders stencil, and it's got 3 different textures on it. We used the center one and just went down kind of in an ombre effect. We used Simon Hurley Clear Skies, Overzealous, and Guppy. And I stamped the layers of the cake in the same order. And then in the flames, we have Guppy and Bee Sting with a little bit of stickles in there. Ooh. And lots of clear sequins. I wanted this to be like a party, even though it's a flat card. Now, to give it just a tiny bit of dimension, I put the panel on the card front using some fun foam. You know, that sticky on one side fun foam. That's a cheap way to raise a whole big piece like this. So that's it. That's our card for this week. I hope you enjoyed this card. You should really, if you're a stamper and you don't know about Rubbernecker, you should check them out. They're a stamp company that's been around a long time. They're not a, you know, a scrapbook company or paper company that decided to make stamps. They've been a stamp company for a very long time. And I mean, you know, since way back in the day of all your stamps came on wood. So they've been around a while. But go check them out. They have some really nice sets. I like their art style. And they've got all kinds of different artists. And this set in particular is $14.95. So their prices are good. And they're very thick, very heavy polymer stamps. Kind of like how Simon Hurley's are. They're real thick. These feel very similar to me. Y'all have a lovely day. Remember, be excellent to each other. Go make something. Bye-bye.